I'm here today with a special message. Call it a public service announcement. Those who follow this site, as well as any newcomers who might happen upon this message, be advised that I have never ever released a message like this before on the internet. I have a YouTube subscription to a channel called UK Column that I've followed for quite a number of years. And they report on what's going on behind the scenes, all the dirty doings, the lies, the treachery, and the treason in the United Kingdom. Yesterday, Wednesday, December 2nd, they reported on a FOIA request. FOIA is Public Information Request. And they read the response to this request. So I'm going to read it right now to you. You'll find this, by the way, on their channel. I'll provide the link in the description at 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 30 seconds. Freedom of Information Request, and I give the reference number in the description as well. Further to your Freedom of Information request, in respect of the number of COVID-19 deaths, please find a response from the Trust below. Actual deaths within the Trust due to COVID-19 for the period February 2020 to November 2020 in Liverpool and for Merseyside. So that was the request. And here's the response in one line. And this is one of the best one-liners that you'll ever hear coming out of the great cosmic joke of the moment. The sick cosmic joke. And I leave it to you to infer who is the joker. Who is the ultimate trickster behind this event? The response. Mercy Care NHS Foundation Trust have had 5 deaths related to COVID-19. All patients that passed away had pre-existing conditions. Now, the population of this area, Merseyside, is 1.38 million people. 5 deaths attributed to you-know-what from February to November 2020. Go figure. Now, this response has a name attached to it, and it has information regarding the source of the trust, so-called trust, the government agency, the authorities dedicated, presumably, to public health. And all of that is provided in the description. Now, very briefly, let me inform you of something. I don't know if you know this. If you're in the UK, the chances are you do. Otherwise, less so. But this very area, Merseyside, and the city of Liverpool has been targeted for extremely rigorous measures against the global pandemic. And the narrative coming from the authorities in the UK says that due to these extreme measures, which are destroying businesses, destroying people's lives, causing untold collateral damage, causing harm, material, emotional, and mental harm that could continue cumulatively for generations, the authorities who are enforcing these measures present this narrative. Well, Liverpool in particular, and this entire area, is a showcase that proves how well the lockdown measures and other measures are working to prevent the spread of you-know-what. So it's quite likely, according to their perverted reasoning, that if you confronted the authorities with this information coming from an official source, they would respond by saying, there, it proves we're right. Because we have applied these severe measures to this particular region, there were only 5 deaths in that 8-month period. And that's how they would reason it. But of course, that reasoning is completely perverted and insane. Also, that reasoning does not correspond with the rest of the narrative that's going out across the country and across the world concerning the enormous number of cases that the health facilities are facing. So you get the picture. However, I'm going to say something now. I'm going to advise action. Now, it's against my code of honor to tell people to do anything or suggest that they do anything if I don't do it myself. In this case, I'm not a citizen of the UK and I'm not living there, so I'm not doing this. But this is what I would do if I were living there. I would either obtain a copy of that FOIA request, or I would use a screenshot, as I have done. I've taken a screenshot from UK Column, and I would print it out, and I would carry it around with me everywhere. And on every opportunity that I had, I would show it to other citizens, and I would show it to the police wherever I encounter them in the street. I would just show it to them. They can read it in 30 seconds. I would hand it to them to read, and I would ask them what they think about it and what is their response. Additionally, I would find my way to any health authorities, anyone who is responsible for the program, including the lockdowns and other measures that are massacring people in that region and all across the world, and I would show them the document and ask them for their response. Regardless of their response, I would continue to pursue 2 courses of action. In the first place, I would contact specific named persons in the public health authority, and I would demand from them a written response to this document. In the second place, I would inform them, the authorities, and other concerned citizens as well, of my intentions. These would be my intentions if I were there. First, I would inform them that I do not ask for my rights from anyone. Not from the authorities, not from the government, not from God himself. I do not ask for my rights. I claim my rights, and I act on the rights that I have. I act on the freedom that I have, which no one can violate except by an act of violence against me. I consider that violation of my personal liberty, if I am acting in such a way that does not harm or deceive others, is an act of violence against myself. So, in speaking to the authorities, I would not demand anything of them. I would declare to them these 2 points. First, I declare that I do not comply with the measures that are based upon this statistic. And consistent with my non-compliance, I intend to communicate to everyone I meet on every possible occasion the necessity of non-compliance in the face of this situation, which is obviously treacherous, deceitful, and harmful. harmful to public safety. Continuing in that vein, I would say that I am a proactive citizen who is involved with organizing groups in the community who will collectively seek reparations, material and financial reparations, for all the harm done by the measures taken on the basis of this document. And that reparation will include seeking both civic and criminal charges against anyone who aided or abetted the measures based upon this document. Financial reparation included. Remember that the statement in this FOIA request comes from an official source. So I have provided the names and also the contact numbers, email addresses of everyone involved at the top of that organization. And if I were there in the UK, I would be contacting these people, and I would not stop ever until I saw that what I was doing was effective. And I would undertake these actions with the strong and unwavering conviction that doing so can and will break the system of deceit and extortion which is operating in the UK and across the world today under the pretext of a global pandemic. So there's my message. PSA is generally the acronym for a public safety announcement, but I'm calling this a public sanity announcement. Thanks for your time and attention, and I wish you all the best in pursuance of this matter, and know that I support you and stand with you in the actions that you choose to take.